Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to another wonderful episode of Metal Gear University.
Are you saying that the trial is done?
The trial is complete.
Well, I'm T, by the way.
And I'm Kay. We are done with the trial, so it's back to regularly scheduled programming.
This is wow. It's funny. I was just getting used to like the trial format, and now it's gone.
Yeah, I feel like we switch up a lot of things here, and I feel like we add things on the fly. The trial being one of them.
I didn't think it would be such like an integral like mace. My English is terrible right now.
Okay.
I didn't think it would be such like a transformative thing to this podcast.
Did you feel like you were an attorney? Like you felt
when I was giving like my my opening statement, I felt like I was like a different person. I felt like I was like the state attorney.
I see why you act now because I know I'm not an actor. That's not my field, but it was fun to play a character.
It was fun.
It was fun, and I would even say for our jurors, they got into it too. Everyone kind of
a bit. No, I really liked their discussions and
everybody got into it. So
yeah, shout outs to Johnny and Luffy.
Yeah, they honestly, I want to work with them again. We got to figure out something. We'll figure out something. We got nothing but time, but the trial's over, so we're back to doing our episodes. We got a couple things that we're looking forward to in the coming months or episodes, I guess. So we have decided that we're going to start Metal Gear Solid 3 101.
Get out.
We're going to start.
Oh my god. No, people have been asking about this.
I honestly can't wait for it either. That was the second Metal Gear Solid game I played, but probably one of my favorite.
It's
so
probably
good.
one of the most favorite one
of the series.
Yeah, it's like one of the top ones that people pick.
We wanted to do it at this time too because Delta, as of right now, the release date says 2024. Do you think it's happening?
I maybe
Maybe
because like okay, I feel like if it was going to release this year, they would have announced the release date by now, right? Because they did it for Silent Hill.
When did they announce Silent Hill release date? It wasn't it pretty recently?
It was like around the same time. Like Silent Hill, they announced first, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong, but I think they announced Silent Hill first, and then Delta came out like maybe like a month or two later. But the fact that we know Silent Hill's release date and we don't know Delta, it leads me to believe that maybe it'll come out early 2025. That's my guess.
I'm thinking it might be like the holiday season. That's as far as they're going to push it. Mm-hmm. That's my...
So you're still thinking it's going to come out this year?
I do think, and I think they're probably rushing right now. I feel like, if anything, they'll announce the release date in September and say holiday season. Or, well, they can't say holiday season in September, but they might say, like...
They could say holiday season in September.
I feel like they'd more specifically say, like, December 20, whatever. I think it'll be released in December. Mm-hmm. And so that'd be a great way, I think, to end the year on a high note. I think so. Because I feel like we have 4 months at the end of the year. To delay it, they got to do it soon.
That's true.
They got to have to do it soon. It can't be October and they're like, well, guys, actually... I think they know people are kind of on them for Metal Gear, so... Mm-hmm. But that's, we're going to start Metal Gear Solid 3 101. Just hopefully it'll be in conjunction with...
Hopefully. It's almost like we planned it. And we really didn't. We're just bumping into walls and it's just working out for us. Like, we might just be ending Metal Gear Solid 3 101 right when Delta comes out. And that would be so... Yeah, then we could just, like, talk... That we could do a 201 with the transitional shit.
We should...
Like, how Delta is comparative to, like the original. Yeah. Oh my god. Gameplay differences. Then we can go the whole 9 yards.
No, if you don't follow us on Twitch, if you are into streamers, we do stream on Twitch under TKANDM. And I'm pretty sure you're probably going to do a 24-hour stream. I mean, I don't know if you can stay up, but I can imagine you're going to play that game until it's done.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get a new chair because you're going to... This chair is so worn out.
I mean, the armrests have seen better days, but like the back, it's okay.
I think I'll just bring a blanket so when you fall asleep on stream, I'll be like, he'll be back in a few hours.
I only fell asleep on stream once. And it's for Nier Replicant. It happened once, and it was for a very short span of time.
But the fact that it happened at all,
yeah, no,
like unplanned, because there's
Yeah.
people who sleep on stream.
Yeah, no, for me, I was running back to whatever town it was called. I forget what it was, and I had near running into a rock and just like running in place against the rock for like a minute, and I was like, oh, what happened? I was like, I gotta go, guys.
Part of me feels like you would fall asleep on the Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta game, but part of me feels like you're gonna be so excited. I just need to leave you in here in the room. Just
No, the endorphins would be too high. I don't think
the adrenaline. Like you're gonna be in here hype.
like even if it's like bad, I'm not gonna go to like I'm just gonna be like in the zone the whole time.
I'm hoping it's this year. I feel like that'd be a great way to end the year. Just with that game and their streaming, like end the year of streaming too for us, it'd be cool. But that's coming up next. And then also come October 3rd, I think October 1st is when the episode will release though. We have it'll be our 1 year anniversary of the podcast.
1 year of this.
1 year.
I didn't think that we would have a podcast that would first of all, I didn't think we would have a podcast. Second of all, I didn't think we would have like a podcast that would last as long as a year. Not to say that we couldn't do it. It's just like us? Us?
The fact, not that we're not consistent, but we've been doing this every 2 weeks since last October.
That's crazy.
That is a little wild. And we've met people through it. It's, again, I never take it for granted. I know some of you are probably like, oh, they say thank you too much. We mean it.
I mean it every single time.
This is so fun. Getting emails. I read everybody's email and I'm like, Tom, look at what they wrote.
I know. It's genuinely like such a cool thing. Like we read an email just yesterday. It was the most recent one. It was like Denmark. And we were like, what the fuck?
Shout out Denmark.
Shout outs to Denmark.
But it means the world that you take the time out to type something.
I don't do that.
and we love a lot of things, and
Yeah.
so it makes me think we should write more reviews and stuff, because if we like it, then other people probably would appreciate it too.
Yeah, and like if I enjoy something, I'm just the kind of person that was like, that was really neat, and then I just go along my day.
Not me. I hyperfixate and talk about podcasts and streaming, and I think we should make an effort to be where we talk about positivity. We should also spread it out there.
I got to practice what I preach.
Spread it out there. But we're thinking of for the 1 year anniversary doing like a mailbag episode. We'll read emails. We've actually gotten some cool emails of like people's specific headcanons.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of cool stuff over the past couple of months, and we want to share it with everybody. And people who wrote that stuff, maybe they'll get a kick out of us reacting. I would. That'd be cool.
So if you haven't already, please feel free to send us an email at tknm@gmail.com. That is ITSTKANDM@gmail.com. If you want us to say your name in it, please write that. I want to be respectful and not just shout people out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll just describe what's in the email and you'll know it's you. But like you said, T, like it's very much, it'd be fun just to read it up here.
Just interactivity.
The interactivity. But yeah, that'll be coming in October. And otherwise, we'll be doing Metal Gear Solid 3. And then, as we always do, we just make a... So, it'll be... Oh, it's the first curse of the episode, I think.
No, I cursed before you. Damn. I know. I beat you to it. Too fucking bad. I know. I'm so bad.
He's so ooze.
I'm so bad.
I've been... Okay. Damn, that's it. Anyway, so, but yeah. Always feel free to send us an email at itstknm@gmail.com. But otherwise... We're looking forward to continuing this, and we'll save more corniness and sweet thoughts for the year-end episode.
But before we go on to the episode, we have to catch all of you up on what has been going on in our lives, because we know that this is a podcast about our lives, and it's not about Metal Gear.
It's time to talk about us.
It's time to talk about us for once. Finally,
we don't do nothing but that on this podcast.
Okay, but in our defense, we've been playing it real strict with this.
With the trial,
And I feel like we have to catch everybody
I
up.
feel like we made up our own rules. Like, this podcast is serious. We need to pretend.
we need to pretend. Like, the Big Boss is on trial.
I am taking this seriously. I am still hurt that everyone just thought he was guilty. No one gave him a chance. We had emails, had comments, and people were like, how are you going to find him anything but guilty? And I was like, let me build my case. Still didn't work.
No, it's OJ. It was the OJ Simpson trial.
I did like how, you know what? I will always remember Luffy and Johnny going, you know what? Maybe he just needs therapy. He needs a more rehabilitative. I will take that. Instead of just throwing him to jail, they were like, maybe there's some hope for him.
Because here's the thing. He wasn't born... The system did mess him up. He didn't come from an evil place. He just became an evil person. Not to excuse it.
Yeah, it's never so black and white.
Yeah.
It's always... So there's layers. Anyway, okay. So yeah, what have we been up to? What's been going on?
Well, while the trial was going on, the whole trailer for Delta dropped, and we didn't have a chance to talk about it.
We didn't talk about that?
No, the trial was going on.
That's been like months ago.
I know.
That's so long.
It was so long ago. I bet people forgot.
We didn't even talk about it? I feel like we've...
No.
Damn. Okay, I gotta remember the trailer now. That was like months ago.
It was. You want to watch it real quick?
Yeah, let's
right.
watch it real quick. Be right back. Okay, we watched it.
It looks pretty neat.
Came out 2 months ago, so you're correct. It was during the trial of Big Boss.
Mm-hmm.
It looks fantastic.
I'm so on edge when it comes to Konami that when I see something good happen, I don't believe it.
You're like waiting to get punished right after, like.
Yeah, like I feel like I should be like convulsing and be like, no, it's gonna be bad, and I'm like, there's nothing that I have seen that makes me feel like it's gonna be bad.
It seems like they're really taking great care in it, and I think it's partly that should be the bare minimum. They should be honoring the old game and putting a lot of work into it because it looks very detailed. It looks very akin, like almost one-to-one to the original game.
Mm-hmm.
But you also kind of expect a new experience. We didn't really see any of that in the trailer. It looks very similar to the OG game.
Yeah. So
I think this is a good standard for how games should be remade. Similar to kind of what RE4 remake did. That's like the standard. You guys have to like up.
Yeah, like it brings a lot of familiarity to the old game, but it also brings a lot of new things to the table as well. I wonder what they'll do because it does seem to be a 1-to-1 remake. However, I think it would be smart if they added like maybe like 1 or 2 new areas, or maybe a couple more. But there's this one area in 3 that I like to point at. It's right before you fight the end. There's like this little side area that has like a log cabin in it.
Oh, yes.
And it's completely optional. You don't have to go there at all. And I feel like if Delta had a couple of areas that were like that added new areas to the game where you could explore and maybe like there's like additional items or
costumes.
Something. Yeah, like additional camos or face paints. It could add more elements to the game.
I said costumes.
You know, whatever. People know. Yeah, fake fan. Whatever. Anyway.
Tom hates when I say that about myself.
Wow. You became a fan like a year ago. What? Who cares? People become fans like all the time. Like it doesn't matter. Anyway. Or like a skull face Easter egg I think would be really cool.
I can't see them not doing that. Wait, I can't see them not doing that.
Yeah, that's a sentence.
I can see them doing that. That was too negative. Continue.
It's a sentence.
It's a sentence.
You said words.
I can see them doing that. I didn't have to do the not in the sentence. Skullface.
I could see Skullface making like a Easter egg appearance. Like they don't even have to like have a voice track of him, just you see him in the distance.
Yeah, you
somewhere.
press the button, right, and then you.
Yeah, you just see him shuffling around in the distance somewhere. That it could be fun. I just obviously the gameplay, it looks very akin to 5. I do have a concern.
Yes.
When they remade Metal Gear Solid 1 into Twin Snakes.
Yes.
I have some issues with like the cutscene department, but that's a whole other discussion. There were certain aspects of the game where the updated gameplay kind of broke the game. A very famous example is when you fight Revolver Ocelot.
And Twin Snakes.
Yes.
Okay.
When you fight him in the original game, it's more challenging because you have to run around and you have to like bait him, and it's this whole thing. In Twin Snakes, since it's modern controls, you could just go into first person view and just shoot him across the room, and it's like the easiest boss fight ever.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
It completely makes that boss fight mundane, and I forget the developer that did Eternal Darkness. What's her name?
Silicon Knights.
Silicon Knights. I know they did a great job in a lot of areas in that game, but like a thing where they faltered is that they updated the gameplay, but they did not update the systems that would make that gameplay feel challenging. You know?
It just wasn't a good remake.
In some aspects, yes. I hope it doesn't go that route, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Because like if you have like 5's controls in 3, it's gonna be a walk in the park. Like it will make that game such an easy affair to beat, and I hope it doesn't become that.
From all the interviews and all the TV discussions since that trailer drop, it looks like the team is really. Part of me feels like when the developers talk or they're being interviewed, I get this image that they're really nervous or they understand the kind of gravitas of remaking this game. So I can imagine that they're gonna have some surprises in store, but also that they're gonna take. I'm what I mean to say, like I'm hopeful.
No,
I'm hopeful.
I don't want people to hear me and say that like I'm overtly critical. I do have concerns.
Yeah.
But I have no reason to feel as concerned yet. It looks fun, and I really want to play it. Yeah. And I'm sure that everybody that's working on it is working as hard as they can, and I'm sure that their hard work is going to pay off.
We, of course, pre-ordered it because we know we're going to play it.
Because we're dorks.
We're dorks. We're nerds. We know we're going to play it. And that's definitely a game where I think you're going to enjoy regardless, just because, nostalgia does play a big part. But also, I think it's going to be, at worst, a decent game.
Mm-hmm.
But everything looks good. The boss looks good. I hate to say it, Paramedic looks great.
Monster.
She looks so cute. And so, it upsets me. Zero looks, it's gonna be great. I'm very hopeful for it, and I kind of just want to play it already.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it on the PS5. I just want to see the cover. I'm excited.
Me too.
And I'm excited for everyone who's gonna play it for the first time. There's people out there who are gonna get that. Like, they're probably not gonna play the Master Collection and go straight for that, and that'll
be a lot of people's first Metal Gear Solid game. I'm
pretty sure a lot of our friends are probably going to play Delta.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun to see what they have to say, and I'm honestly very happy with that trailer. Very happy. I'm just waiting for that release date to drop.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's all we really have to. It's been 2 months. I feel like that's really all we have to say. We're just hopeful.
We also most recently we went to the Long Island RetroCon.
Yes, that was in the middle of nowhere.
That was like the most random con, but that was so much fun. No, I had so much fun there.
For how long our commute was, it was worth everything. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
I would go today. Like, unprompted, I would go.
Honestly, it was so deep in Long Island that it would have made sense if we got a hotel. Because it was just, oh my God, it was
wild.
It was a long commute, but like you said, I will say this, the best convention I've been to, because it was interactive.
Yeah. It was almost like, it took place in a aerial museum. So it already had like a museum vibe. But the way that they had these consoles set up, it was almost like an interactive museum of video games. It was so cool.
You had people, I guess people brought in their own arcade cabinets. So you had arcade cabinets of everything. Tetris,
The X-Men.
X-Men, Marvel vs. Capcom. You had all these arcade cabinets. You'd move somewhere else. Here's a Virtual Boy you can play with. Here's a ColecoVision. Here's
an Atari 2600. And then you'd go into another area and there's like PCs. Like I must have seen like 30 or so PCs that looked like they were lifted from 1993.
From my living room in '01.
It was crazy. Like I played Fallout on a vintage PC. Crazy.
You took a picture of me and I felt like I was teleported back to my childhood because it was just me on that big ass computer monitor playing The Sims. I can't express how much that convention was great. If you're nearby or thinking about going, Long Island RetroCon was fantastic. We also spent some money. I feel like you and I were like, okay.
We went there for a reason.
That's the most money I think we've ever spent at a convention. Besides maybe Metal Gear Solid Con, which we'll talk about. Mm-hmm. But I spent the most there that I've ever spent at a convention. And I think ever will, unless...
I mean, you had good reason to. It was for Silent Hill.
I went there. Our Silent Hill collection is now complete. I will just say that. Mm-hmm. And you booted up Silent Hill 1 today, and...
It looked so cool.
It
was honestly really cool to like play it.
Wasn't it kind of fun?
Like it with the original startup sounds and like that whole the whole vintage feel of it. Like I know like people could play it through other means.
Which sometimes
which honestly completely warranted.
Yes, if you're not given any other option, buy a $200 game or play it by other means.
Play it by other means.
Allegedly.
But I will say, I almost sound like a music dork going like, there's nothing like playing on vinyl. But like, it really, there's something about opening up the disc tray, putting the disc in and closing it. And then you just see that PlayStation startup thing. There's something about that just triggers something in my brain. That's just like,
dork.
As God intended.
This is how it was meant to be played.
This is how it was meant to be. The river flows, the sky is beautiful, and I'm playing Silent Hill.
And then as you're playing it on your like plasma TV.
Well, I can't get the full experience.
Well, we have a CRT.
I'm not a caveman, okay?
But it's fantastic. We're definitely gonna stream those games for what was it called? Spooktober?
For Spooktober, yeah.
But Long Island RetroCon was fun. We'll probably go next year. Maybe longer. Maybe depending how we feel, depending on the panels, I'll be like, let's just do a hotel because I don't want to commute back. Mm-hmm. That was like almost 3 hours. We didn't take a car because we don't like being in cabs for a long time. It feels too intimate.
Yeah. I feel like you have to talk to them. And not to say that I'm too good to talk to the driver. It's just that like I'm bad at conversation. I know, shocking. I'm on a podcast, but like I'm really bad at it. He's
looking at me and
I could talk to you just fine. You put me in a room with a stranger and I'm like, and like it just, the words don't come.
Like I feel like you met people in Metal Gear Solid Con. They're like, you're so shy. It's like, yeah, I hate being here right now.
I hate crowds.
But I forgot what we were talking about.
Taking a cab.
Oh, taking a cab. Yeah, so we commuted there and it was a trip. But if you're in Long Island, go. We'll be there next year. Love to see some of you. We gave out some stickers too at the convention because we were talking about Metal Gear and we're like, yeah, we're on the podcast. So, but it was great. I think it was cool to see dorks like us playing games, all these old systems, and then dorks like us who had kids. And I remember there was this one dad who we were in the computer section, the PC setups, and he brought his kid to play Half-Life. And he was like, you see the computer? The game's in there. Like the game, this computer's playing the game. Like he was trying to explain the whole setup and then the whole big...
to a kid that probably only played Fortnite on an iPad or something. Like, Wow. And then we saw like this old couple. They looked like they were in like their 70s and they were looking at the pinball machines. And like I'm just thinking like when we get that old, we'll go to like a retro games con like, oh look, they have Dark Souls 3. Get out of the way, kids. Strength build coming through. Like
I remember when Resident Evil 4 was first released.
On the GameCube, it was released. And it's like, all right, Grandma.
Okay.
Get out of the way.
Okay. Let me teleport into Raccoon City. Like, it's gonna be so much better. But hopefully, when we're that old, things are more accessible. Mm-hmm. So, when people log into Metaverse, they'll be able to play all these old games easily.
One can hope.
I mean, knowing how we are, we're going to keep everything pristine. I mean, we have all these...
I think we take very good care of our things.
We really do. I feel like we need to display it more, especially for stream and just like our little nerd room over here. Mm-hmm. But we do take care. I mean, all of our systems are the ones we use as kids.
Yeah. I mean, that says a lot. Even as children, we took care of our things.
I think my GameCube just broke.
And you pushed that thing hard.
I was playing Eternal Darkness for hours on stream, so I think it burned out. I think something happened.
Yeah, I think you looked it up. Like a fuse burnt.
I think so. So I had to take it, but that was the GameCube I got back in, when did it come out? 03,
like
05?
Launch? That was like a launch GameCube, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, you
20 plus years.
You took care of that thing,
and I streamed of it. So I think we're gonna be good here. We have a lot of friends, thankfully, who are also like really big nerds, have their own kind of retro setup. So I think our generation is going to be cool, and in the future I would even love like volunteering or supporting them, because it was definitely a labor of love. For similar to Metal Gear Solid Con, everybody there you knew wanted this to be a success and worked so hard. Mm-hmm. I feel like the point of like those two conventions was about the love of video games, of the series, and community. No offense to New York Comic Con, it's become very corporate. Very capitalism, very much like, let's have these pops here in every booth so we can... It's missing that kind of...
Yeah, there wasn't like a lot of personal touches, and like, I mean, if you dig around at New York Comic Con, it's there, but I don't know, there's something about like the soul of it. It's just different now.
I am becoming more and more a fan of smaller conventions. I think, because even too, I went to the Brooklyn Comic Con with my dad a few months ago, and that felt like old New York Comic Con. So much smaller, such a smaller scale. I think it was in like one big room in an armory, mm-hmm. But the artists were a lot smaller. You had a lot of playable demos, and you would actually play games, and mm-hmm. It was just a lot more space. So I think in the future, I definitely want to try new conventions. This one we went on a whim. And it was great. It was
fantastic. One of the best cons I've ever went to. If you're in the New York area, definitely check it out. I could not recommend it enough.
Yeah, we took some pictures, so if you want to see it too on our Instagram, you can get all the links in our little bio too. You can check it out. We put some videos. You playing the Donkey Kong game with the
Donkey Konga.
Donkey Konga. Okay, that's what it's called.
I'm pretty sure it's called Donkey Konga.
We were playing it. That was I felt like a primate trying to figure out the controls, because there's no buttons to move. You have to like move left and right.
Yeah, you gotta move to the rhythm.
And we're like doing it right now. It was really fun. I can't like you said, like it was just so worth going to. Definitely gonna go next year. I don't know. I feel like I want to do panels, but even just to like be on a panel, we'd have to just talk about Metal Gear. That's what we can do.
We're pretty Metal Gear centric.
It couldn't really be anything else unless we do Silent Hill one, but
we could. I mean, that would be shifting gears for us, but I mean, well, you could do it. I'm not really the Silent Hill.
Well, you're playing them this year.
I'm doing it. Yeah, I will be initiated, but I'll be the fake fan when it comes to Silent Hill.
We should make fake fan stickers. That's what I am.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Fake fan stickers. Okay.
Fake fan.
But yes, that was RetroCon. What else have we been up to? So much it's just that the child took so much out of us.
Yeah.
The Olympics.
Oh my God.
This has been the most patriotic we've been.
Yo, I don't rep the US hard, but every couple of years I just turn into, what the fuck is a kilometer? Fuck you. you.
Yo, that the gymnastic teams comes out and I'm
Simone Biles holding it fucking down.
Yo, literally
the GOAT.
We literally in our living room just standing up, clapping, screaming. Simone Biles, Sha'Carri Richardson.
Oh, whew.
Like, and then not even them too. I'd be patriotic for other countries.
Yeah, no, there were times where like I was rooting for China, their gymnastics team, because man, I felt so bad for them. They looked like a bunch of kids,
and they were like
so many of them were falling, and I just wanted one of them to place.
No, they were like killing it, either really killing it or like falling, and you're like, what is going on? And we were there rooting for them. One of them won bronze.
Silver. I thought it was silver.
Sorry,
yeah.
You're right. Was it for floor uneven bars? I forgot.
I forgot as well. But they got that like a cute picture out of it where like they learned that tradition where they got to bite the medal.
So cute. We were rooting for like what else? Imani Khalif, that female boxer. Rooting for her.
Puerto Rico, the hurdler from Puerto Rico.
Yes. What is her name? Camacho Quinn. I forgot her first name.
Oh, fucking Mondo from Sweden. Fucking Mondo, baby.
We are not sports people, but come the Olympics, we're like, yo, that form is not. That's not gonna get them the gold.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at Mondo. I'm like, come on, baby, you could jump that. You could jump. Get that pole, Mondo. You could do it.
And I feel like the streaming service we have, I hate streaming services, but the one we had did a great like breakdown of everything. It had like each sport. You can watch it individually. You can watch it live. They did a good setup for watching it. So we would have it on our calendars and we're like, okay, when you come home, we gotta watch the uneven bars final. It
was a lot of fun.
It was fun. You know it's over today?
Oh, it's done?
Yeah. The closing ceremony is tomorrow, I think.
Who won?
What do you mean who won? Who had the most medals?
Yeah, who won the most medals?
We did.
Hell yeah. Yeah. You all got to learn miles now.
Great. Last topic. I think that's all that we really missed in the past month of episodes. We saw a tweet today, and it was Kojima tweeting it. Today is the 10-year anniversary of PT.
Could have been.
Imagine us talking about, or anyone talking about, an anniversary of a demo.
The anniversary of a goddamn demo. That just shows you how much of an impact that demo had on gaming culture.
We can do, I feel like, a whole episode on, not only the ramifications, but like you said, the impact of PT on horror games. Because you see horror games now, and it's homage to PT, different aspects.
There's a whole bunch of YouTubers that we watch, and they all play indie horror games. And there are so many things that are lifted from PT nowadays. And it's such a shame that we never got to see the full vision of what that game could have been.
Because I bet you the game would have been so different from that demo. I felt like the demo wasn't even going to be, like, the characters in that demo and even that apartment, I don't even think was going to be a part of the main game.
I mean, who's to know for sure? I mean, if I was to guess, I think that the official game would have been, like, third person, because, like, there's no way you get Norman Reedus and have it not be first person.
You can't see him.
You know? So I think it would be third person. I feel that Silent Hills would have been some sort of, like, since there's Silent Hills, I always thought that, like, maybe, like, it plays with, like, liminal spaces and stuff, and, like, you go through doors, and maybe you go through, like, different dimensions or different versions of Silent Hill as you travel around. I don't know. But I don't know nothing about Silent Hill lore. I'm just shooting in the dark here.
Yeah. It's I think at its root, just it's sad that we couldn't see what it was. I'm glad we saw a horror piece come from Kojima. I think OD is going to be horror, right? That game that he's announced.
I think he said that would be horror, yeah.
And I think he would be fantastic at a horror game. I think there were really horror elements in some of Metal Gear that...
Yeah.
I think about just even the first one with Psycho Mantis and the whole, like, that brief moment where the screen turns off, or reading the metro card, reading the memory card, reading the memory card. Like, there's a lot of horror elements. I think about
Even Death Stranding with the BTs.
Yes.
Even though it turned out to be a little bit more arcadey than I initially thought, the idea of the BTs and like the initial idea on how you dodge them, I feel that like that could translate to a really cool horror game.
It's a shame to think about the potential. I'm glad it happened. Who's to know what the future will bring? But just 10 years. I remember you and I talked. We were together when that demo was released. I remember us being so hype and talking about it.
Mm-hmm. I remember us hooking up a microphone to your PS4 controller. Jareth.
And then, oh, the baby's crying. The baby's laughing. The baby's laughing.
Uh-huh.
It was such a big deal to like beat it and see number ratings at the end. But I feel like every October we always play that game, just like a little homage, a little thing for Halloween. But damn, 10 years. I'm glad he was able to post it. Like for a canceled project, it's to feel comfortable posting about something like that. It's nice to be in that kind of headspace.
It's something to be proud of. Like, even though you never got a chance to complete it, knowing that what little work you did do made a lasting impact. Like,
that is true.
Like, he just dipped his toe in, and it made ripples that we're still going through today.
That is true.
And, God, just thinking, like, if that was just, like, the ripple effect, imagine what could have been.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. In a way, if you think about it, that's the perfect horror game.
The true horror is it not
the true horror is it not existing.
It's an existential,
right? It kind of breaks the fourth wall in that sense. Like that's the true Silent Hill.
You know how good this is? It'd be scary if you couldn't play it, right?
Right?
Damn, he won.
He won, man.
That was his whole point.
Even when he loses, he's on top.
It's a mastermind, I tell you. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, I don't think there's anything else we've been up to.
I'm not sure. That was a hell of an intro.
Yeah, but thank you for the... I don't even know how long this is. 30 minutes? Thank you for listening.
But we've been trying to catch everybody up. And now we're all going to go on a field trip to Metal Gear Solid Con.
Yes. We were discussing... we wanted to talk about this in length, and we were like, damn, how can we do this? And we got a nice comment on YouTube from... Okay, they said their name is like Chi-Con, but replace it with the ch sound with a J sound. So it'd be Jai-Con.
Hi, Jai-Con.
Jai-Con is... Right? Because if I say G-Con, that's what a G.
Yeah.
So
Jai-Con.
Man,
look, you know who you are, and if we mispronounce it, we're sorry. We're sorry.
Jai-Con.
We're really trying.
English is the worst.
It's the worst language on earth. So maybe Skullface had a point.
You know what? We should hear him out next time we play 5. Maybe let him rock.
Let him rock, yeah.
But Jai-Con, thank you for the suggestion. Tom, are you ready to go on a field trip?
Yes, I am.
On to the episode. So, this episode is going to be long. But we hope you enjoy.
Yeah. Sorry, I guess. I don't know.
You just like hearing us ramble.
You get a lot of content, I guess.
Anyway, so like the episode title suggests, we are going to talk about Metal Gear Solid Con. We just came back from the second iteration of it.
Yes, we went to the one in the Hilton at Long Beach, which was fantastic. Then we went to the one at the previous year at the Hilton by LAX, which was also fantastic in its own right.
So we kind of just wanted to express not only our thanks for the team behind it, kind of express what was cool about it, but also discuss our hopes for the future, shed some light on it, because I know we've spoken about Metal Gear Solid Con in previous episodes, but maybe we can express more of like what actually happens there, who was there, the environment. I think I always like watching vlogs, and I think we can kind of make this like a vlog episode, so people who are maybe considering it for next year can go.
You might want to check it out.
This episode is not sponsored by Metal Gear Solid Con. We just, want to share our excitement.
But if I get some of that Metal Gear Solid Con sponsorship money, comes our way. Get a little extra, little extra nondescript plushies come our way.
We get if there's another little plushie that's coming out and they want to send one
Send a plushie our way. Come on.
But yes, again, not sponsored, just big fans, and we just kind of wanted to express to all of you who are also big Metal Gear nerds our take on it. So like you said, we went to the first one last year at the Hilton at LAX in California.
Yes. LAX, duh, yeah.
So we traveled all the way from here in New York to Cali. That was our first time in Cali. We are such big dorks. We went to the outside of the country for a convention on one specific game. I'll never get over that.
Yeah, we went to the opposite end of this country.
And not for like San Diego Comic-Con, not for like a small
little thing.
In a hotel.
Amanda, if you're listening to this, we went out there for your con. We never been to Cali before, and it was your con that brought us out there.
We were always talking about it, and we were like, you know what? If we're going to go out there, let's go for this. And I remember people were tweeting about it. It was a whole big, like, the first of its kind. And I remember the month before, because we got it late. I found out about it pretty late.
Same here. Like, I'm not really that active on Twitter, at least in, like, the social aspects of it. And when Metal Gear Solid Con was in full swing, it was more or less right when the Kickstarter ended. And it was like, oh, we did it. And I was like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe the first one took a little bit to get funded. I think it took a couple of months for them to get all the funding and through the Kickstarter. We just bought our tickets directly. We weren't a part of the Kickstarter. Again, we found out too late.
Yeah.
I feel like you're on the Metal Gear Solid Discord and I'm on Twitter, but it just never came across our way. I don't know why.
I mean, to those who know me, I'm notoriously very bad at Discord and social media as a whole. So it didn't surprise me that it flew under my radar.
But I saw a tweet and I went to Tom and I said, look, it's your birthday month. It'll be during the week of your birthday. Do you want to go? And you did your little thing where you're like, oh, maybe, whatever. And you never, if it's for Tom, he'll never say yes, even though his heart desires it. I have to read between the lines for you.
I don't want to be perceived. Okay.
So I was like, Tom, let's be for real. He was like, yes. So then we went. We flew out to LA at the Hilton LAX. And it was our first time staying at a hotel for a convention. Kind of, for the first time we've been to a convention in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And it was small. It was in the basement of the Hilton.
Yeah, it was like it looked like a basement conference room, / ballroom. Like, it was like one large room divided up into two areas.
Mm-hmm.
And for what it was at the time, it did the job. It's just the heating, or should I say the AC situation wasn't really up to snuff, and that wasn't the con's fault. It was more of the Hilton. I would
say it's the Hilton, especially for how many people did show up, because it did get kind of crowded.
It did, yeah.
And so considering it was a lot of fans in the basement, it did get hot in some places. I remember us going to an empty room and just kind of like sitting in there for some cold air.
Mm-hmm. I think we just left the con altogether and just hung out in the lobby for a minute.
For a second, because it was a little hot. To all of the fans there, it wasn't smelly. You know how convention centers, you always have the little funk armpit? I never smelled armpit there.
No.
Despite it being hot.
Everybody was very well manicured, and I appreciate that. I really do.
That's what the Metal Gear fans have on other conventions. We all smell pretty good. So far. Keep it up, guys. Keep it up. The con itself, again, like you said, it was a large room divided to different sections. It was well organized.
It was.
There was a clear schedule of what panels were up. There was voice actor panels. There was a panel for the Kojima Frequency for their podcast. There was a panel for
YouTube content creators.
Yeah, YouTube content creators. So it was actually pretty cool in how they divided the day. And I think too, even for its small size, they made use of all the space.
Oh, they had to. But it was a fantastic con.
I would say what was cool about this convention too is that you can really tell it was a lot, like just a lot of passionate people because it was so. I was surprised at just how packed it was that first time around, and then especially it's not even packed, but they had a live stream, and that was also really like that live stream was also.
Yeah, it was popping.
It was really popping. So I think I underestimated just how many people would want to come to a convention for one game.
Same. Like I know that this game has a very passionate fan base, but trying to convince people to come out for one franchise is a lot of work.
I mean, the only other game I can think of that does that is Kingdom Hearts, I think, right? Kingdom Hearts is a convention.
Yeah, I think that one's in Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
And is it annual? I'm not even sure about that.
I'm completely unsure.
But I can't think of any other games that have that kind of like the draw to be able to have a full
convention. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Metal Gear Solid Con was one day. They had a nice little meet and greet, like, kind of like a mingle the day before at the Hilton pool. Again, it felt like, it felt kind of like intimate.
Yeah, since the crowd size was a lot smaller, the meet and greet was
felt like a handful of people.
Yeah, cause I mean, I'd say like last year it was like 300 or so people that showed up.
Oh my god, I wish we can look it up real quick.
If it was like a ballpark estimate, I think like 300 to 400 people showed up at the first MGSCon.
Okay, let me see if I can look real quick.
Well, in any case, the numbers for the meet and greet, I feel like was only like around like 30 people that were there.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody kind of like, it felt like everybody knew each other already. And like Kay and I were like the odd ones out.
Because by then, we were only streaming. We had no... Did we have our YouTube out?
Yeah, we just put out one of our YouTube videos. But, not to humble brag, but it went viral.
The Call the Big Boss?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was all we had. We didn't have the podcast or anything.
I think we just released Deconstructing Big Boss.
Okay.
I think we just released that one, though.
Okay.
But Call the Big Boss is what kind of put us, like, on people's radar, so to speak.
Okay. So, but yeah, we are still, but we were smaller fry back then, and we weren't as social. So we weren't as social as we were in Metal Gear Solid Con 2, but people were still very friendly. We did make some friends who we reunited with in Metal Gear Solid Con 2, which was actually really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people cosplaying from the get-go, remember? There were just people hype for the convention.
So there were so many talented cosplayers that year.
I feel like that also kind of bleeds into like the Artist Alley for Metal Gear Solid Con 1. Artist Alley was not only a mix of like, you had your one vendor who was like selling video games. There was a vendor, of course, selling figures, but you had like people who were cosplaying, fan art. There was people who had patches if you wanted to have like a certain, like patch for your jacket. I feel like there was a lot of physical...
there were people made posters. There were actual like paintings you could buy.
So I feel like it was from the get-go, from that cosplay, the cosplays I saw on the Mingle, I was like, okay, there's going to be people who are bringing more than just themselves. They're bringing like the stuff that they've created for the series, which I thought was cool. I like seeing, I don't know, there's something about just seeing like art being created from a series you like that's just, there's something special about it. I feel like podcasts do count and like YouTube videos, but nothing like seeing like a...
Holding it in your hands.
Yeah, I think, you know what I mean? I think that this, I don't know, for me, it's something about like, seeing it's the creation of something physical.
Yeah, it had like a real sense of like community behind it. Like with like larger cons, like you kind of get like little blips of that, but this entire convention just bled of homegrown artists and content creators, and like it was nothing but just like pure love for this series.
And I think that's why we liked it so much, kind of similar to what we were saying earlier about the Long Island RetroCon, because you and I have been to bigger conventions. Like we go to New York Comic Con every year. We've been to, I'm like losing the name for it now, but we've been to bigger conventions. And this was the smallest one we've ever been to.
Yeah.
But it was also one of the best.
It was.
And
it really was.
I think it was part to what you said. It was just like everybody who was there loved the series and wanted to talk about it.
Like, you could tell that it was a labor of love from people helping people find the queue online to people introducing the voice actors of the game. Like, you could just tell that everybody involved fucking loved just being there.
And I think that even extends to like the voice actors. Oh my God.
They are the coolest group of people. Like, and I'm not just saying that because they voice like my favorite characters of all time here, but like they are genuinely like the most nice group of people.
And like for no good reason, because not that they're gonna be all like snooty and whatever because they're celebrities, but like they genuinely were so friendly, and I feel like so happy to be there. You know, like it felt like it wasn't just like for the money. They were actually there talking with fans, taking pictures with fans, hugging fans, making jokes on panels. It felt, again, like they were a part of everybody else, a part of the community. Same goes with the creator panel. You had some big name like YouTube content creators, and we were just chatting with some of them on the floor. Like it was, we were all in this together, and I think that's the kind of spaces that are it makes us want to be more social, even though we're not as social.
Yeah, it makes us want to try to get better at it. And it's funny because, like, you know, to people that might be listening, they're like, well, duh, you guys have a podcast. Get out there, stupid. And I'm like, yes, but sometimes it doesn't dawn on me that, like, we exist in the same space. But I will say that's where, like, the seed of this podcast was born.
It was definitely, after that convention, we were like, that was amazing. We want to talk. Honestly, I felt like a newfound love for Metal Gear because it was just like, instead of just talking with you about this every day, I was talking with other people, other women, other people who were just as passionate. And it wasn't scary. They weren't mean to me. They were, you know, so I think I was like, you know what? Like, let's try.
Yeah.
Let's try. And there's probably fans like us who are new or a little bit less social or shy. And we're like, you know what? Let's do this for them.
Yeah. I mean, like, I remember, I mean, I've said this before, but I will say it again. Being at that con made me realize that all of the podcasts I listen to, all of the YouTube creators that I watch, they're no different than me. And they're no different than you. And if you want to try something new, literally just do it. And I know that, like, you're listening to me, like, I have a podcast and I'm like, just do it, man. I'm like, no, I mean it.
I wish I could tell you how much that means coming from Tom, because you're someone who, like, it's can I say, like, it takes you a minute sometimes to do something?
Yeah.
You're just nervous?
Yeah. I self-doubt all of the time. I really do. But this has been such like a cool experience, like this whole podcast journey, and I wouldn't have done it without just taking that first step. And to people that are out there, just do it already. Just, if you got an idea, even if it sucks,
you gotta just do it.
Like, even like you have this idea in your head and you try it and it fucking sucks, just do it again and then again. Because, like, I don't know, go back to like our first episode.
Oh my God.
And like you might say it sounds good, but I think we could have done better.
Our second episode had an audio issue. I mean, even now, I'm struggling writing the script for our next YouTube video. Like, I still struggle with, like, that idea of perfection and things have to be right. But me, I'm telling myself, you gotta just do it anyway, Kay. You gotta just do it, because if you don't, it's never gonna get done. So part of it is being kind to yourself and resting and taking your time. But sometimes, if you can, you gotta push yourself. You know, we actually pushed ourselves to be social and go out to the RetroCon, too, because we were like...
Yeah. No, a big piece of us was like, no, let's just stay in. Come on.
Same way I think with Metal Gear Solid Con. We bought tickets. They were like, damn, should we go?
And, like, we already spent the fucking money. Like, just go. Damn.
But, again, I feel like it was a very small convention, the first one. Small space, small little basement of the Hilton. But it was, if so corny of a phrase, it felt larger than life. It felt it felt so large in my mind. Like the way I'm remembering it, it felt like it was the whole hotel. It was so
I mean, we
huge.
took it over. I mean, like, yeah, we were in the basement. We were in the literal basement, guys. I mean, it was a well furbished basement, but we had to go down the escalator, basement level.
But you're right though, because you go up to the lobby.
Honestly, it was a little concerning at some points because you had a bunch of cosplayers coming through in paramilitary gear, and
In camo, walking around with face paint.
and some of them looked a little convincing.
No, there was one point just people walking around with guns, and I was like, yo.
I was like, "Yo, we're gonna get stopped." Like,
I was like, yo, is there security? Like there were some points where I was like, that looks like we would be in like a lobby, like getting a coffee, and we were like, that looks scary.
yeah.
That-
No,
and there were people in the hotel like, what is looking around at cosplayers?
because like I think if my memory serves me right, I think somebody cosplayed as like an XOF soldier, and that just looks like a soldier. You know what I mean? And then they're just walking around. And I'm like, yo.
Downstairs, it makes sense. You go up and you're like, oh yeah, there's other people.
Oh
here.
yeah, life exists.
No, that was really funny. And then post con, it was everybody trying to find, little spots to go to. I know you hooked up with some people and went to a bar.
Yeah, it was me, Jay. Shout outs to Jay. And Mike Metz.
Shout out to Mike Metz.
Shout out to Mike Metz. Mike Metz? Mike Metz.
You got it.
Damn.
You got it.
Words. We shared a beer in a desolate hotel lobby because we thought people would be there, and it was just us. But we had like a really cool conversation, and we made do, and we had a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
We met up with both of them last year. Mike was like involved in like the organization of the con. He was super busy, but we touched base and we were like, "Yo, I see you. Good shit."
Well, I mean, I guess we should talk about Metal Gear Solid Con 2 now.
We should. Yeah.
So, after Metal Gear Solid Con 1, we were like, yo, we're doing this again.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, fine, okay, it ended. We were, that night, after everything, looking at all our merch, and we were like, okay, we're locking in. So, the Kickstarter popped up for Metal Gear Solid Con 2, and we were like, that's it. We're
locking in.
We're locking in. We're spending the most money. We're backing it at the highest tier. Where we're promoting this to our small little group. We're sharing it. And when I tell you, the first Kickstarter I think took a couple weeks, maybe a month or two to fully get backed. The Kickstarter for Metal Gear Solid Con 2 I think was completed in like a couple hours.
It was incredible. It was like I didn't think that would happen. I remember seeing the tweets as they were coming in, and like Amanda was like fucking crying and shit.
Big shout out to Amanda and the team because they
deserve everything. They really do.
I mean, we're gonna talk more about the second convention, but like, yeah, you guys all killed it, and I feel like when I had a chance to speak to some people that I knew of at like who were working behind the scenes, I was like, you guys did this. And not only that you do this, but the fact of like when you're working at a convention, you're not really able to enjoy it.
And that's like the sad irony. Because like arguably the people that are working this con and the people that are organizing it might love this series more than anyone there. And they can't experience it. That's like the sad truth behind it.
They are running to spots, walkie-talkies, directing people, changing the setups, the layouts of certain rooms. The team loved this series so much. They took the time and the money to set it all up for us. We complain about having to travel across country. We just showed up and
things happened.
And we were there. So like to the team, like it's so sad, but like I feel like I hope that you understand like the work you're putting in like made our summer.
It made our whole summer. Not even kidding.
Made our summer. People loved it. People were talking about it. We can't stop telling people to go. when we go to conventions now, when we went to the one yesterday, we were like, "Oh, have you guys heard of Metal Gear Solid Con?" And the guy was like,
"Yes." There was a rando in Long Island, New York, that heard of Metal Gear Solid Con.
He was like, "Yeah, I want to go, but I'm out here." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a trip, but it's worth it." And he was like, "Yeah, it's my favorite series." I was like, "Yo,
make the trip." I felt like it was like joining a cult. I was like, "You must make the pilgrimage
to California.
You must go west. Follow the sun."
We share it as much as we can because it's beyond just like love for the series. It's just a good group of people. And I think what was so shocking with Metal Gear Solid Con 2, should I just say, I feel like I'm saying a long phrase, MGSCON 2.
Yeah, they'll get that.
MGSCON 2, the scale to which it grew.
My God.
We thought the first one was chill and cool and we enjoyed it. 2, I was speechless. Speechless is the word.
They upgraded big.
So it was still in a hotel, but I think this time it was the whole floor. Instead of it being like a basement level, they moved it to a different Hilton, and the floor that they had access to was so much larger.
Yeah, there was like this huge, I guess like conference room. It was like very large conference room that could fit, I'd say like close to like 500 to 600 people.
It must have been. Then you had another room for games. Then you had the artist alley. Then you had a long alleyway for some merch, some voice actors, and then you had another room for just getting autographs and pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a large space.
It was a very large space.
And not only that, the amount of people.
I think this year it was like 600, I believe.
I'm telling you, it felt like it was 3 times as much. I wish we had the numbers. I'm curious. I want to ask them. I would love to do to know the behind the scenes numbers.
I mean, off the top of my head, they said that it was twice as large as last year.
Twice as large.
So if the first year, if I remember right, it was like around 300 or so. This would put this year at around like 600 or so.
I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be surprised if it was even more than that.
Uh-huh.
And mind you, this one sold out.
It did.
It sold out so early. And there were people on Discord, like in the MGSCon Discord, like, "Hey, any more tickets?" Like there was a demand for it.
Mm-hmm.
Us being dorks, we got the Kickstarter as soon as it went. You went for like that. We got the highest tier. And you also went to there was a VIP.
The VIP meet and greet.
So you want to explain how that was?
Yeah. It was, well, I went to them for both years. For the Hilton LAX, it was kind of like on like a patio, I would say. The LA sun was beaming on us. There was like coffee and pastries, and you literally just had a chance to just walk right up to the actors and just shoot shit. You could thank them, ask them any questions you want, get pictures. You could get any stuff signed. It was such like an incredible experience, and I couldn't believe that I was talking to some of these people. Like I was talking to. It was like a funny little interaction. It meant nothing, but it clicked in my mind. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm talking to Otacon." Where it like the sun was getting a little hot, and Christopher Randolph wanted to move his table a little bit more into the shade, and I was close, and he was like, "Hey, do you mind just helping me move this table?" In his Otacon voice, because his voice is pretty much Otacon, and I was looking away for a second. I was like, "Otacon?" And I turned. I was like, "Oh my God. Okay, let's. You got it. Let's move this table, buddy. Me and you." And it was like such like a funny moment that I had with him that I was like,
like I said, it made it feel like
it made it real.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They're just people like us.
And meeting up with Greg Eagles and just
Greg fucking Eagles. That is the man.
He is such a powerhouse in the voice acting industry, and to have him there was so cool. Having everybody, Cam Clark, he was hamming it up the whole time.
Hilarious, so silly.
Doug Stone, amazing. They were all so cool. Lori Allen, my God, Lori Allen is the sweetest person. like I'll never get over, like, she is literally like mom. You know what I mean?
No, you were telling me a story for the meet and greet for MGSCon 2. We were able to meet friends that we've been talking to on Twitter for so long. But we had friends of ours, Survivor T Type on Twitter. Check them out, amazing artists. But Survivor T Type and his girlfriend came from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to the meet and greet with you. And they went to Lori Allen. They got some stuff signed. And Lori Allen had asked them where they came from, right?
Yeah. She asked Survivor Type, "Oh, where you from?" And he was like, "Oh, Germany." And she was like, "You came all the way here from Germany?" And she was like, "Come here, come here." And she came in for a hug. And I was like, "Oh my God, that was so sweet."
You were on the side like, no way.
That is such a sweet thing. And then I talked to Survivor Type after, and he was like, "The boss just hugged me."
Oh my God. So it's that kind of aura, like, from everybody. Like, it was just welcoming space. And I think MGSCon 2, with it being so much larger, I think just the amount of more cosplays, the artist alley was larger. It was, honestly, it was the best it's ever been. It was only the second convention.
And I don't know how they can improve for next year. And I said that last year.
You were like, this is fantastic. Like, it's so well thought out. The layout was cool. And I feel like last year we were like, oh, wow, it needs a bigger space. This one was a bigger space.
Yeah.
But just the turnout, I remember speaking to you, we were like, it needs a bigger space now.
It does.
I feel like, for the future of the convention, I think they deserve a convention center. I think even if just a small one.
Yeah, the thing is, I've never been to like a small convention center, so I don't know what that would look like. I feel like you would have more experience. Like, the smaller conventions I've been to have been inside of hotels or like an aviation museum, but
yeah,
I would be excited to see it be full-flown convention style.
What would you prefer? Would you have it be multiple days or a larger space and it be one day? Because I think that's also what's interesting. MGSCon, both of them have only been one day.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the one day, but I would prefer if it was in a bigger space.
Yeah. The thing is, I feel like multiple days might, as much as I love MGSCon, I feel like multiple days might not do the con justice, because it is a single subject con.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can get most of everything done in a day. However, it's not that like I don't want it to be in a con, a convention center.
Yeah.
But there's like a real advantage of like going to this con and having your hotel room right upstairs. It is, when I tell you, it is such like a magical feeling.
That is a good point, because I was sick for both days. Not COVID. I tested. Not COVID. I get really bad migraines, and it was a little hot. The MGSCon 2 got a little stuffy at points.
Yeah. Not the Hilton's fault.
No, not the con's fault. Maybe the Hilton just needs better.
Oh, yeah. I misspoke. Well, to be fair, 600 people were rolling through. But the areas where there wasn't a lot of traffic, it was actually kind of chilly.
Yeah. And for me, I'm someone, sadly, who if it goes from hot to cold, I get migraines. So I had to go upstairs for a bit of the con and take a nap. And when you were around, just like giggling and running around. Man,
I was having the time of my life. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's so funny, because whenever I'm sick, you're always like, I'll stay here with you. What do you need? Whatever. And this time I was up in the hotel room. You came and dropped me off. And then I was like, you know what? It's okay. You can go. And I feel like you left the room before I finished the sentence. Like, I feel like you were like, okay, I'll see you later. I was like, God damn it. Can you breathe? No, but you were fine. But...
I did fine. I made sure you were okay.
No, you did. But I'm telling you, you were so quick to leave. I'll see you later.
I made sure you were good.
You
laid down, and I was like, you okay? And you were like, yes. And I was like, yeah? And you were like, yeah. I was like, okay, bye. Bye.
And just run downstairs. That is a good point. Having it at the convention center is there is a kind of bougie spoiledness that I do enjoy. Just having the ability to go upstairs and
And if we were at a convention center, we would not be able to do that.
if I was sick, I'd have to just like tough through it. Maybe they they can keep moving around at different hotels that have bigger floors. Just keep doing that
Hmm.
because that is a good point. And sadly for us, I think it's always gonna stay in Cali. It
Yeah.
makes the most sense.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the draw for MGSCon was the voice actors, and 95% of them are in LA. So I don't think it'll ever leave the LA area unless the budget gets astronomically huge.
And they're
which,
able to like fly people out.
yeah, but that would consume a budget of the size of, I don't think that they're ready to even have that amount of money. Not to say that they wouldn't be responsible, but like if
I think it'd be quite the jump.
it would be a huge jump because like you're not only transporting the actors, you're transporting yourself and the crew and everyone.
And like, yeah, that would be a heavy lift. But no, Cali's fine. If you're a big fan, you'll travel. We traveled, and again, like it was. I mean, I think the one day the one day convention is perfect. You stay there all day. You know it's doable, and I just hope I want it to get bigger.
Mhm.
I want it to get bigger because I want there to be more. Like one of my favorite parts of MGSCon 2 that was different from the first one was the interactivity. So like they continued with the game room. There was a game room in the first one. They had a game room in this one that was like streaming games. And you could play different games.
Mhm.
They had some good panels, but they had a voiceover booth this time around.
Oh, it was so much fun.
And I feel like that part where you could essentially you'd go in and do they would kind of do like a professional voiceover for one of the cutscenes in the game, right? Yes, I didn't
Yeah.
go in there. You went in there.
Oh yeah. I'm so sorry to whoever was in charge.
I'll
of
look it
that.
up real quick. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. The voice-over group that put that whole thing together, they put together clips from Metal Gear Solid 2, and you could voice anyone from like Snake to Otacon to Olga to Revolver Ocelot, Solidus, whoever.
Transported audio
Transported audio.
on Instagram.
Fantastic group of people.
Yeah, great job.
They had such a cool setup. You put down your email, you say your lines, and then you get an email with the video of your best attempt.
And it was so quick.
Oh yeah, they were really good. They were spot on with it, and it was such like a cool interactive thing. And it had me thinking. I don't know how much of a workload it would be, but how cool would it be if you had like some sort of like a contest
Yeah.
with like who is the best voice actor, and you have a bunch of people who recorded lines for like a contest, have the audience watch them, and like vote through like an app or something to vote for who did the best.
I like that. And I feel like it should be like, I guess like best impression and then like also like maybe a new take.
Yeah, like two categories, like best impression and then best performance or like best new take, like you said. Like I think you could do some really cool stuff like that.
And I would love for there to be more interactive things like that next year. I think more, of course, everybody can mingle on the floor. Everybody can start conversations. But maybe a spot where it's just like you can all sit.
Like a communal area.
A communal area. Maybe you can go sit in like a cafeteria type thing and just talk with people. Or maybe like, I think there's a Metal Gear Solid board game coming out. Maybe like a board game setup. Like a place where everyone could just kind of like mingle amongst themselves and sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Or interactive panels or rooms.
I would love that.
I think that would be something, again, just like to up it. You know what I mean? Like just up it. Because I feel like, again, we struggle with being social. And I would have loved to talk to more people. And I think sometimes I need like a something to initiate conversation.
Yeah, I'm always the kind of person that needs something in common. Like I feel like I'm a shy person. And I felt like I was pretty shy in the con. But since I knew that everyone there was a huge dork for Metal Gear, it made talking to people a lot easier.
It did. And again, everyone was so nice.
Everyone was so cool.
We met some cool people. We were chilling at like the pool, and it was a larger two little like mingle area. There was a mingle before the con. So many more people. People were cosplaying again there. There was a little karaoke spot. I think that was just part of the hotel. But even that, it was like there were more events before the con that got people hyped.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what was cool is that the team at MGSCon, I think they had that in mind too. They made sure, like, here's the mingle, here's the link to, like, they were very communicative. That's the word, right? Communicative?
Yeah,
They were very much in communication with everybody going. They, again, you could tell that they really gave a shit.
Mm-hmm.
They cared about this and they wanted it to run well. And that day, that morning, we saw them all running around. Everyone was like, you know, going to their spots. It was... They kept it very serious. But when I tell you the volume of people compared to the first one, it was so funny going into the lobby of the hotel at Long Beach that Friday and like sitting because oh my god, it was the same day as the CrowdStrike thing.
Oh my god.
You see, the convention was so good, we forgot about that.
And like a worldwide event happened and we forgot about it.
Because I totally forgot. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, we were so glad to be able to fly out that day. Our flight was that morning that everything kind of clunked out. And I think the 2 flights before us got canceled. Mm-hmm. So our flight was the only flight, I feel like, that morning that went to LA.
Yeah.
So grateful. Because we were at a point, too, where I was like, look, if you can't go to the VIP tomorrow because we have to take a later flight, like, we'll message with a refund, we'll do this, and we were fine. Mm-hmm. But we were in the hotel lobby because... their system was down too because of that IT thing.
We couldn't even get into our room. We had to get somebody from the front desk to walk us to our room every single time to open up the door. It was crazy. So
like even with that, the hotel lobby was packed with people just waiting for like them to figure it out and like figure out their plan. But also it was so many more people who were in like slightly Metal Gear shirts and outfits, and everyone was just kind of like staring at each other like...
We suss each other out a little bit.
Are you here for...
Like people wearing... like there was like one guy just wearing like camo pants, and I'm like, there's like a 70% chance from that one.
There was one wearing like a... or you see someone with like a Metal Gear shirt, you're like...
I see you.
Do I go up to them? Do I...
Yeah, just say hi. Like, hi, man. How's it going?
Yeah, it's... everyone was friendly, but it was funny to see a hotel lobby packed full of just everyone who was going to the convention. Mm-hmm. But I think, you know what, next year if it's at the same convention, I would actually be really happy because I do agree having the hotel there was the best part. It was the best part, being able to like hang out with everybody after, and then like I think we went to bed that night like midnight, 1 a.m.
Yeah,
just because we were just chilling with people.
It was so much fun, and like if the con gets bigger and it needs like a whole convention center, I'd be excited. But man,
hopefully it's connected to a hotel.
Yeah, like there's really something special about like, I mean, like not only convenient about being able to just go up to your room when it's done, but like I don't know, like you could have like a whole day in that one spot. It was just so much fun. Like I met so many cool people that I would consider friends.
Yeah, and the artist alley was a bigger spot this time too, but even that needed to be bigger.
Yeah, I feel like the artist alley, I wouldn't call it a complaint, but I feel like given the size of the con this year, the artist alley needed to be a little bigger.
I mean, the fandom supports the artist because
that's something that I love about this community.
That room was it was smaller. It was always packed. Mm-hmm. And that was the hottest room on that floor because everybody was there purchasing. It was packed the entire... I kept going in because I wanted to like buy stuff and it was too hot for me. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo. But you're right. This fandom they support each other. It's wild. And it's so nice.
No, it's something that like I really enjoy. Like we have a couple of artists who we're friends with on social media, and like we come by, say hi, and like they know us too. It's It's so cool.
I think it's just a show, just how friendly everybody was. I think it really made me. I feel like it made stuff like that gives you more energy to like, keep being involved. Like, it makes you. I'm sorry, I'm like speechless. It makes you love this series so much more because you know everybody else loves it just as much as you and wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what you'll find at MGSCon. Just a whole room of people like us just talking about their favorite game. It was never anyone like, okay, you like Metal Gear? Name the bosses in Metal Gear in order. Like, it was never any kind of test. You were just...
It was just like, you're a fan? Cool.
Cool. What's your favorite? How long have you been a fan? Where'd you come from? Oh my... You know, it was just... Oh, man. I mean, I feel like for the future, again, I feel like more interactivity I would love. Hotels to do... Maybe put the AC a little bit colder for...
Yeah.
Just because we were all... It's just packed. It's a packed house.
It was.
And I feel like there's a couple of actors that are still missing from our roster of signatures.
Oh, yes. Okay.
This is our dream list for next year?
Okay, because there are, I mean, more or less everybody that you could think of has been to MGSCon 1 and 2. Most notably for 2, David Hayter.
Yo, that line for him was ridiculous.
It was crazy.
The line for him to get signatures got to a point where they cut it off.
Yeah.
They were like, it
was bananas.
They were like, it's over. Like, you can't. If you're not online now, that's it. But
also we had Jennifer Hale. We had Phil Lamar. Like, legends.
Mm-hmm.
Legends were there. It was so fucking cool to see them all in person. But for next year,
yeah,
I think Robert Atkin Downs is like a no-brainer.
I feel like next year if that happens, I would go instead of you to the VIP thing.
No, please. I did it 2 times in a row. You do it.
Because, I mean, like, again, like, you went... Not that I didn't want to go, but, like, I'm not... Like, Tom, it made sense for you to go.
No, for this year, when I met David Hayter in the...
You were shell-shocked.
No, like, I was speechless. Like, there's, like, a photo of me. I think it's on Twitter. I have, like, the most doofy look on my face. I took a picture with David Hayter, and I literally looked... like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe I was talking to him. It was so cool.
So cute. So cute. You're just so shocked.
Such a cool experience. But Robert Atkin Downs, I feel, would be a really good follow-up.
That would be so cool.
Kazuhiro Miller.
I feel like the whole MGS5 crew, Troy Baker and Kiefer Sutherland.
I know people will talk shit, but I think Kiefer Sutherland would be good and funny. I would get him to sign my copy of 5 with ellipses. Like, that would be the funniest thing.
That's just all that Venom says. I feel like that'd be cool, though, and I think it would also be different than the voice actors before, because we've had, like, voice actors from, like, 1, 2, and 3. Like, it's 5... I feel like it's like the newer generation, especially
like the Peace Walker 5 era.
And I think too the last games to come out for the series. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be kind of cool to get them. I know that they're bigger names. I know Troy. I mean, they're
Troy Baker is God.
The voice actor,
the AAA voice actor right now.
Yeah, so that I know that's you'd have to probably.
Like,
get some funding for him. I know he's probably a big pull.
Yeah.
And then Kiefer, the hell?
Kiefer Sutherland, yeah, that's another one.
He's like, please come by.
Also, I would love to have Patrick Zimmerman come in.
Oh.
The OG voice of Ocelot.
That would be, honestly... I feel like I haven't even seen him at conventions.
I don't know. I feel like he just did Ocelot and that was it.
He's just chilling.
But I would love to see him in person.
That'd be funny. And I feel like, too, he was the first Ocelot. Like,
yeah.
You know? Like,
he was like, touch that wire. Like, that was him. I want to see him.
That would be cool. You know, I feel like, honestly, in terms of, like, our hopes for MGSCon 3, because we all know what's coming. We
Mm.
all know the team is resting, probably chilling right now. But we know it's coming. It's a matter of time.
It's too successful to stop now.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like some new voice actors, of course, return the old favorites of people who weren't able to make it for these first two conventions. But maybe like those voice actors, either at a larger space or the same convention center, because I think this one was way better than the first one.
Oh, 100%.
Way
100%.
better, just in terms of accessibility, in terms of space, in terms of just like
It was more organized too. Shout outs to Amanda and the team. I can't thank them enough for putting together such like a well orchestrated con. And I know there must have been, nothing's perfect. There was probably fires left and right that they were putting out.
There's probably things that they were like, fuck, that went wrong, or there probably things that they're still like mad about. But
As somebody that was experiencing the con as a guest,
it was perfect.
it went great. I had such a good time. And for somebody that made this whole con out of like dust and like compacted it into something that was like a diamond.
No, you guys are pros.
It was incredible. You guys, like, I would trust you to organize San Diego Comic-Con. Like, you guys are legit.
Yeah.
You guys were built for this. I mean it.
Yeah, you guys deserve all the props, all the flowers. Definitely. If any of you are hearing this, please, like, you know, pat yourselves on the back. Take the time that you deserve to rest because you killed it. I have not heard anything bad about the convention. Everybody we met, all the new friends we made, they're like, I'll see you next year.
Yeah.
There's people now who I still talk to and they're like, I miss the convention. I miss it. I want to go back even though we're on the East Coast. Like, we talk to people and they're like, all right, gonna have to save money for Cali next year.
Mm-hmm.
It's bananas how well you all did, and just thank you for it. Like you said, it really kind of like ignites the passion in us to do more with this, just because it's.
I mean, this con brought this podcast into the world, and who's to know what other projects that this con is inspiring to start.
Mm-hmm. That's true. You know, for those listening who are debating on it, if it's in the cards, if the finances are cool, definitely check it out. Try to be social. It's hard. It's very hard, but knock on wood, so far everyone we met has been really nice. And you'll be part of that team too.
Yeah, and we'll be there.
We can hang out.
And I know you might be thinking, oh my God, it's TK. Oh my God.
Do people think that?
I heard people said that about us. People went like, oh my God, I don't want to blow their spot.
That is weird.
I swear.
I didn't even want to hear that.
I heard that.
I didn't want to hear that. If you have the means, go. Definitely go. It's worth it. The panels were great. Everything was great. The people were great. This year was bigger and better than the first one, and I just know it'll be consistent because the team behind it, from speaking with a few of them, sweet, and they care. They care. So I just hope that they, I hope their team expands. They get more volunteers. They get whoever else they want to support. I hope they get what they need because it's fun.
Yeah.
I really cannot wait for next year. As soon as the Kickstarter starts, I told you we're buying the tickets, the hotel, the flight. Like we're doing it as soon as it pops up.
We're locked in. Day one. You got us.
You got us. Woo! Guess we got to go to Cali every July. Like great.
What a punishment.
What a punishment. But yeah, I mean this is kind of our episode, our chill little.
I view this episode as a transitional episode.
Okay.
From our Big Boss trial to what we're going back to.
Oh, okay. I see you.
Which could be a thrill.
What a thrill.
No, I'm not going to do it.
You were going to sing?
I'm not that drunk.
Also, Cynthia Harrell was at MGSCON too.
She was like the sweetest lady.
She was so cool.
She had an experience getting there. First off,
because the crowd strike.
The crowd strike. Her flight was canceled and delayed, and her luggage was gone. She like you could tell just by looking at her, she had a rough day.
But the spirits were high, and she was so friendly. She
was so kind. She was like the sweetest lady. And like I was just like, wow, you are like a pivotal part in this whole fandom.
I'm telling you, that song was... Remember when I got off the train one time and I met up with you?
Yeah.
And I was listening to Snake Eater the entire train ride. And I got off the train, and what did I say to you?
I get it. You were like, I get it now.
I don't know, it was like a year or two ago. But I was like, I get it. And it was that song.
Snake Eater, man, there's something about it, man.
Yeah, it's just you get the goosebumps. And she was there again. Team behind MGSCON, you all killed it. Thank you very much. Again, this is not sponsored. This is coming from our heart.
Yeah, we're doing
our
this.
Minds.
We're doing this of our own accord. And even if we were sponsored, which maybe, but no,
want to do is throw a plushie.
Throw a plushie our way, that'd be all right. But even if
a free Coke next time we
Ooh.
Can of Coke, a free can of Coke.
Yeah, free can of soda.
Soda.
Not illicit activities. Jeez.
Yeah,
throw some Coke our way, Yo, Amanda, throw some Coke our way. You know what I'm talking about? Hey.
This is terrible. A free soda.
Hey, you know what? If you listen this long, you get the Coke joke.
You get the Coke joke. It's terrible. Free soda. Damn. Anyway, not sponsored, out of the kindness of my heart, of our hearts. This was great. We're looking forward to next year. And yeah, if you were thinking about it, definitely worth checking out. If it's your first time in Cali, partner it with like just meeting with fans. The Discord was so friendly. People were planning like outings to like ramen and Denny's. So like there's people to meet and do stuff with. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to spend the extra money to go to Universal or Disney, people were just hanging out locally. So
yeah, I mean, just for example, we were at Long Beach. There's a beach.
There's a beach.
There's a beach. It was like a block away.
So there's things to do also that aren't too pricey, especially if you're coming from far. And it's just a great time. So we'll be there next year. Knock on wood, we'll be there. And again, team, great job. You guys are really inspiring. So glad we were there for it.
Me too.
I think we'll end it there. Our little speechless rant about the convention. Anything else you want to end this episode with, T?
I just want to say thank you all again for making that con possible. Thank you all for listening and making this podcast possible.
Yes.
I couldn't believe that we lasted a year.
I know we're coming up to.
I mean, it's not yet, but like, there's no reason why we wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I'm speechless. I can't wait to see where we go, where everyone goes, wherever, like people who run the con, the artists who were there, the fans that were there that we met up, and like their passions. It doesn't even have to be Metal Gear related, just like the stuff that they want to do with themselves. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to meet up again next year and catch up and see where we're all at.
Exactly. Thank you all for listening. For those that we met there who listen to our podcast, again, shout outs to you. Shout outs to you listening right now. We're grateful. We're grateful for Metal Gear.
And honestly, as much as I love Metal Gear, this con really solidified, like, it's not just like Metal Gear. Like, I just loved this community.
Yeah.
Like, I just loved hanging out with people. It was such a cool experience. Yeah. Like, it was genuinely.
It makes you want to be social.
Yeah. It makes me believe that being social is not such a scary or bad thing,
Beautiful. Beautiful. As always, you can send us an email at itstkandm@gmail.com. That is itstkandm@gmail.com. Again, we're going to have a 1-year anniversary episode, so we'd love to get any emails you want to send, whether it's a comment, question. No hate mail, because I will read it and cry on podcast.
Yeah, why would you want that?
Yeah, why would you want that? I'm an ugly crier too. Ew. So, be sure to send anything you want if you want it to be included in the episode. Otherwise, I believe we're going to start the 101 for Metal Gear Solid 3. And
The much requested.
much requested, and I'm actually excited. It'll probably be quicker than MGS2.
No, it will. Metal Gear Solid 3 has a lot to say, but it's not as dense. So I feel like it won't be like 10 parts. If I was to guess, maybe 5 to 6. But we'll see.
We'll see. Anyway, everybody, thank you for listening this long. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.